Hi, I'm Patrick Higgins. I'm a student at Rutgers University, and I'm the founder of Team Beast.
Can you tell us about your experience with spinal muscular atrophy?
So SMA is spinal muscular atrophy, and it affects about 1 in every 11,000 people. It's a pretty rare genetic disease. It's a neuromuscular problem. Pretty much your muscle wastes away over time, over your lifespan. As far as my experience with SMA goes, obviously it's done a lot of things. Like I'm in a wheelchair and I need a nurse at night to help me get dressed and get me into bed and everything. But I've done as much as I can to keep it from progressing and to keep myself as independent as possible, because the more you depend on others with something like this, if you don't keep your muscles in motion, you're probably going to lose them, and then that can perpetuate the problems of SMA.
So what is Team Beast and how did you come up with this idea?
So I created Team Beast as a way to help people, not just students, but people of all ages and of all backgrounds, to be able to do stuff, to chase their dreams, to be able to live a life they love, not just a life that they think is possible. Because as a kid growing up, I was told many times, like, oh, it's probably not possible for you to go to college. Oh, it's probably not possible for you to live on your own. And limitations were kind of set on me throughout the entire time. And I was able to combat that and still accomplish everything I wanted to. So I was lucky enough to have funding through insurance companies, and my parents would help. And so between those two, I was really able to be as independent as possible with any adaptations or technology that I needed. Unfortunately, a lot of people are unable to get the same assistance for one reason or another. My goal is to help people be able to afford and get the technology and the assistance that they need to live an independent life that they enjoy.
You were told that living life the way you do would be unfathomable. How do you defy these expectations in your life as a college student?
Pretty much, there was always this idea that if you're in a wheelchair or if you are somewhat dependent on people, that living by yourself is probably not going to happen. I was told that from a very young age, and all this, I guess, doubt that people had about my ability to live by myself started, when I was a little kid, and I would go downtown with my friends or go to the park with my friends, and my parents wouldn't come. My parents would stay at home, and people would freak out, and they'd be like, what are you doing? Like, why are you by yourself? Why is there no assistant? Why is there no parent around you? And my answer was always, because I don't need someone around me at all times. I can do this for myself. As I got older, I went to high school. I had like a paraprofessional aide. They would, help me write and stuff. The stuff that like I couldn't physically do, but they wouldn't follow me. They wouldn't like hover over me. My aide was actually very good at taking a step back and letting me be me throughout high school, and it just gave people a much different vibe, because then there were other kids whose assistants didn't do that, who were hovering, who wanted to know all their friends, who wanted to know what they were doing at all times. I skipped classes in high school, and my aide was just like, hey, if that's the decision you want to make, then that's the decision you want to make. I'm not going to change your mind. I'm not going to force you. I can't do that. At the end of the day, you're you. Since I was younger, it was always kind of just the limitations that people set on me. I said, well, wait a second. Let me see if I can do it. And, coming up to 2 years ago when I moved out of my home to live at college, I had people tell me, well, I don't think this is a good idea. And I would always say, people ask me, how do you expect for this to go? And I said, if I fail, then I failed trying to do something I love. And if I succeed, then I'm independent. And I get to live on my own. And I get to be my own person. I'm not confined by anyone's expectations of what a disability is and how I should act with it.
You've said that treatments and cures are excellent, but you don't need to be cured to dream. What sort of advice would you give to other young people with disabilities who are trying to achieve their aspirations?
So I wouldn't necessarily call myself qualified to give any advice. I'm still 21. I'm still doing dumb shit. I'm still fucking up left, right, and center. But all I can say is here's what I've done, and maybe you can take this and apply it to your life, or I can just give you some hope. And I just never let people set limitations on me. When people said, "I don't think you can do this," I said, "Well, fucking watch me." I never said like, "Oh, maybe you're right." I mean, and of course that goes within reason. I'm not. No one's gonna say, "Hey, buddy, you can't go swim on your own." I'm gonna say, "Fucking watch me," and then go drown. And I'm not telling a diabetic to go eat an entire birthday cake because that's what they want to do. There's obviously limitations of what you can and can't do physically, but if it's safe, if you feel like I can do this, and someone just says, "Well, maybe you can't," go for it. Send it, chase it. If this is what you want and you really feel like this is how you will live your dream and do something you love, then there's no point in holding back.
What kind of a difference can adaptive technology or even funding do for a student living with a disability?
Adaptive technology changes the game. It makes you able to do things that you once thought were impossible. Whether that be writing an essay, if you can't grip a pen, or if you get fatigued easily, and instead you can use a laptop to type, or you can use speech to text. It just changes. It changes how you can approach life, and it changes your efficiency. And then even outside of that, things like portable ramps. I got a portable ramp a few years ago thanks to one of my best friends who ran a fundraiser for me. And I've been able to go over to his house. I've been able to go to other people's houses. I've been able to go to New Year's Eve parties. It's just opened up a whole new world of possibilities. And I really think that anyone can live a normal life if given the correct adaptations. And that's what I want to do. I want to help people find and afford what they need to do the things they love.
All right, what does the near future look like for Team Beast, and is there anything that we should be looking out for?
Right now, I'm working on my degree. So as far as the next year or so goes, obviously it's going to be a little bit slow because school's got to kind of come first. But I have a lot of content that I've been working on and I'm still working on. I have a lot of projects that I think people will really enjoy that I have lined up that I'm hoping to either announce or release over the next few months to a year. And just finding people to help, finding people whose lives I can change, whether it be through motivation or whether it be through funding. I want to get the message out there that you don't necessarily need a cure to be able to do what you love and to be able to dream.
All right, Pat, thank you for spending some time with WoBistDude. Where can we send people to learn more about Team Beast and your journey?
I'm on all social media platforms. We have a website, www.teambeast.net. Follow us on all social medias. I keep it updated as much as I can. Whenever I think of something funny to say or whenever I have an announcement to make, it's always going to be put there. I'm in trouble in the comments section sometimes. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for asking me to talk about Team Beast. I'm very grateful that you guys are willing to help me get my message out there, and I think it's going good places.